Welcome to Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News presented by Papa John's. Got to thank those guys. I've been sitting here chowing out to Papa John's, and then the special they got going on right now is the Shakaroni extra large pizza, extra cheese, extra pepperoni, and extra cheese.
Wow.
Why didn't we get that one, Jack?
Don't ask me. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just happy to get something.
Yeah. So you got to thank Papa John's. Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News presented by Papa John's. Let's go over our marketing partners this week. Got to thank Langley Speedway, Performance Plus Motor Oil, Safety Clean, Black Acid Apparel if you need some t-shirts, Factory Canopies. Really can't thank those guys enough. They give us some nice chairs and nice tablecloth in here. MPM Marketing. Can't thank Tanya McAllister enough. She, if you want a suit, helmet, all those things that you want or want custom, she'll help you along the way.
Well, you can do like Scott does, get a suit and sleep in it. That's all.
Yeah, it makes a great onesie. Pepsi, thank Pepsi for the sodas. Bondurant Brothers Distillery, GAC, Great American Company, VA 811 and NC 811, and Blackwater Station Grill, something like that.
Blackwater Station Grill, yeah.
And get you some nice barbecue and some moonshine. And that we'll do the news, and then we will we'll talk about the Millard family there.
All right, let's go with the Smith's Wraps and Graphics Weekend Racing Roundup that we have going on this week. Some exciting racing down at Bristol Motor Speedway this past weekend. In the Cup race, Kyle Larson won.
A little bit of controversy there.
There was a little fun after it was over with. I've heard a lot of talk about what happened in the trailer after they went in there.
It looked like they had a couple meetings.
Well, it wasn't pleasant when they went inside the Chase Elliott truck. From what I understand, it was not very pleasant.
For who? Chase?
For both of them. So anyway, that was it. It was good racing all the way around. Even though Kevin Harvick said Chase blocked him, but that's racing.
That's racing or not. I think Chase is going to look back at this and think kind of like a Scott Allen move. And maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I liked the interview with Kevin after they had him on the radio. They can boo all they want to. I don't care.
I'm ready to rip somebody's head off.
Anyway, in the Xfinity race, man, that was a heck of a race. AJ Allmendinger got the win. But
man, that last two laps.
I mean, tell you, they were 3 wide.
You know who was going to win.
And then AJ got to the inside, and of course he went across the start-finish line sideways. So, and then got the car crashed up pretty good down in the turn down there. But that was
like Tyrrell Bonnie did.
That was a great race. I mean, I tell you, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Probably one of the best ones I've seen in a long time.
For Bristol, yes.
So in the truck race at Bristol, Chandler Smith got the win. In the ARCA East race that happened at Bristol, Ty Gibbs got the win, but the champion is Sammy Smith. He got the championship in the ARCA East. Down at Hickory Motor Speedway, the late model race down there at Hickory was won by Katie Hettinger. She's won one race. That was a limited late model race. She moved up to the late models and won a race this week.
Oh, good for her.
So that's pretty. And I'm going to get her on the show here in a couple of weeks.
That's not the girl we had on?
No, that was Whitney Meigs. This is another girl. In second place in that race was Gracie Trotter. Jessica Can finished 5th, and Kaylee Bryson finished 10th. Out of the 12 cars they had in the race, 4 of them were girls.
Oh, wow.
And they all finished in the top 10. That was a pretty good deal. So anyway, up at Evans Mills Raceway in New York, the New York Superstock Series, Garrett Zacharias got the win up there. He is firmly in the lead in the Superstock Series championship points. It was a big win for Garrett. You know, his dad's been real sick, and he got the win this weekend. And I thought that was I was very proud of the kid. I mean, he gave it everything he had, and I mean, he won the race going away. So in Wade County late models, Ethan Johnson got the win. Zach Lightfoot is the champion in the Wade County late models. The Bando winner was Phoenix Kimball. They did everything they could do down there to take it away from her, but they gave it to her.
What happened? What was the controversy in there?
The two cars that were in front, well, three cars, two of them went in the wall. One went up high and he didn't get around, and Phoenix came around and got the win.
Mm-hmm.
But then they came back and said, no, because they were trying to say she was involved.
Oh, okay.
But she wasn't. She didn't come nowhere near being involved. So anyway, she got the win. That's the way it should be. Here at Langley Speedway this past weekend, in late model race number 1, Mark Wirtz got the win. Late model race number 2, Justin Carroll. He's got that second race down pat, man. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, there was a bunch of comments about, and I don't know if Justin did it or not. But there was a lot of fight in that first race for 8th or 7th and 8th.
Anyway, that's he's got it down pat, no doubt about it. In the super trucks, Rick Paust got the win.
Yeah.
The Enduro.
I think he got that big motor back or something.
Oh, did he get the win? Did he get it?
I think.
Let's don't tell everybody about it. And we don't want anybody to think that Rick Paust has a big motor because he actually
I might have to talk to his engine builder. I need a big motor.
2 or 3 of them if you can get them under there. Anyway, in the Enduro race, Charlie Bryant got the win. In the U-Car race, Colby Bryant got the win. Grand Stocks, Chris Roberts.
That was his first win in that.
And in the Grand Stocks, Chris Roberts. And Champ Karts, Matthew Leach got the win. In the Dominion, up at Dominion Speedway, late model race number 1 had a major crash on the last lap. John Goin, Peyton Sellers, I forget who all was involved. They gave the win to Goin because he came across the line, but then they came back today and said he didn't win. Cole Bruce won.
Mm.
So I don't know. I don't have the specifics on that. So anyway.
I meant to ask you about that. If
hold on. And in the smart mods that were up at Dominion, Tony Hirschman got the win. Now, we've got an interesting thing here with our driver of the week. So all you people listen to what I'm saying. I said, Amy, I did say that Riley won the championship. I got called on that the other night. So he won. But anyway, in the voting for the driver of the week, we had 2 winners. The first time we've had a tie.
Oh, okay.
So we had a tie between Rick Paust and Cody Bryant.
Oh, well.
So both of them had the same amount of votes. Both of them got it. So I'm going to give both of them a driver of the week for that. And then I'm going to give another driver of the week. And I think this is an honorary driver of the week. I'm going to give that to Dave Millard because I think he deserves it. He's been here for years and years and years. And we're going to miss him for a little while he's getting well. But I'm going to give him one too. So we're going to have 3 of them this week. So anyway, all right, let's go to the Dave's family sent us a message that they want read to everybody tonight. And I'm going to let Scott read it. And so this is a message from their family to all the racing fans here at Langley Speedway or everywhere, I guess I should say. So anyway, Scott, we'll let you go ahead with that.
Yeah. First and foremost, this is just from them. And I guess we could sort of touch on that afterwards. So this is directly from the Millard family. It says, on behalf of Millard Brothers Racing and family, we would like to thank each and every one for their kind words and their many prayers. We have been flooded with messages. Excuse me, sorry. We've been flooded with messages of encouragement and those reaching out to check on Dave and our family. Please know that we are doing our best to respond to your words, and your words do not go unnoticed. We would like to thank the racetrack's emergency response for their swift and thoughtful response. He was in good hands and continues to be while in ISCU at Riverside Medical Center. Dave remains in critical condition, and we ask that everyone to please continue to pray for him to turn the corner and begin his road to recovery. Dave, as many of you know, is a tough competitor with over 30 years of dedication in helping drivers in different divisions at Langley Speedway, starting with the days of crewing for Chip Hudson. That's where I first met Dave in the late model division. In the early 90s, to crew chiefing, spotting for drivers competing in super trucks, grand stocks, Pro 6, Super Street, and Legends drivers, and competing along the side of his family and friends in the Pro Wing Champ karts for 16 years. He has devoted countless hours to helping others, and know we are asking for your help and prayer. Pray for his healing, pray for his doctors, the medical staff, and please keep praying. We have faith that Dave will continue to fight, and our peace knowing he is in God's hands. DM Strong, hashtag DM Strong. I've seen that all over. And it's thank you, Corey Wood, and thank you to the family for allowing us to deliver the message. This is close to our hearts. And I can, a few things I can say is that they have seen all of the pictures and the comments. They're all watching and they're all looking at that stuff. And it makes them feel super good. I know I'm using the complete wrong words here, but it's been overwhelming for them to see all of the love. They had no idea how many people that Dave has touched and will continue to touch. In this process, it's just been overwhelming for them and for all of us. So that's their statement, and just keep praying, and I'm just an extension of the family to say thank you to everybody that has posted a picture or said something nice or asked. I know they're overwhelmed with the amount of comments and text messages and Facebook messages. I can't imagine how many that they have gotten. They see all your messages. If they haven't responded, it's not because they haven't seen it. It's just they just got a lot going on. We sent some pizza over there earlier today, so they're eating good. And just a small token, the only thing they ask is just to pray for continued positive direction for Dave, and just keep praying. And if you got a funny story about Dave, we'd love to hear it. While we got a few minutes before we got somebody coming on at quarter after, and Dave spotted me when I first got the Pro 6 car. I'm like, man, I don't have anybody, and first person I thought of was Dave, and he was like, yeah, man, I'll help you, and it's been a great experience for me, and it's been great to have him as my eye in the sky, he would say. And it's funny how good your relationships are when you have a spotter, and you have to have 100% confidence in them. And it's so funny because there's times that I would look back at the video and see how close I was to somebody, and he would clear me. As Aaron Leach would tell you, I don't look in the mirror. You know, Dave tells me to turn, I turn, and you can hear the things in his voice of how urgent it is, and he, you know, he makes you feel like he's in the car with you. You know, when you're running behind somebody, he's like, I see you working hard. You know, try to arc the corner, try to do this, don't overdrive. We got plenty of time, and because he knows I'm a little all over the place, you know. So thank you to the Millard family. You know, you're in our hearts.
And we're here for you.
Yeah,
So.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, we started this driver of the week thing. I know it started with Danny. It started with Danny, but Dave got in on it, and everybody, I mean, it was a big deal. And all of a sudden it turned into a big deal. And he and I would, when the nights I'd come up here and go in the pit area over there, he'd get to talking about Danny being the first winner of it and everything like that. He thought that was funny, and it was really cool. And so we're here for him. I hope that everything turns out good down the road. And so to everybody in the Millard family, please know we're here. And I think there's probably hundreds and hundreds of other people that come to Langley Speedway that will say the same thing. So anyway, yeah,
we love you guys.
And Danny said it started with the best.
Yeah.
Well,
Dave's better looking though.
Well, I'm not gonna go into better looking. I ain't gonna play the better looking cards here. But no, it's really, we gave it to Davey because of that super move he made out here that night to beat Aaron Leach. Yeah. And it's just like
poor Dave had to do it the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's just like Aaron Leach just didn't know
what. It's like it let off the gas.
It's just like he didn't know what happened. Oh God, here comes Danny, and went around it. So, but no, Danny got the win, and we had Davey get a driver of the week, and that was really cool. And so anyway, I want to say that we'll be in touch, and we'll keep talking and listening out for you. And if we can do anything for you, we're here. And
we keep praying.
And that's all you can do right now is help them out by praying for them. And hopefully pray for the doctors, like they said, pray for the doctors and everybody that's going to be working with him, because it's going to take a lot. And so let's hope everything turns out good. All right. I didn't want to have to change the subject. I mean, but we have to go on. This is a racing show, so we need to go with the racing. But
we got more time.
Yeah, at the end of the show, we'll talk some more about Davey, and Scott can tell his funny story he told me just a few minutes ago.
I don't know if I can totally tell that one.
So anyway, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. First of all, I want to say we got somebody standing by. Our first guest is going to be presented by Virginia 811. It's Mike Cheek. Now, he probably doesn't remember me. I would say he more than likely don't. But I remember meeting him one time way back at Petty Enterprises. And so anyway, let's talk to Mike Cheek. We got Mike Cheek on here.
One more thing I just want to say. I'm sorry. Danny says they got Dave's phone in the room, and he's listening. Dave, we love you, buddy. Mike Cheek, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing? How's everything down your way?
Oh, man. We banging lines and kicking nines. You know what they say, whatever it is. I ain't figured out what all that is. Living the life, I guess.
Now, I was talking about, you probably don't remember. I know you don't remember, but I know you remember Vic Story. I'm sure remember Vic Story.
Yeah.
Used to come down there all the time and get paint and stuff at Petty Enterprises and all that other stuff.
Yes, sir.
I used to come down there with him a lot and go to Petty Enterprises. And that's where I met you at the first time I saw you. So,
well, I'm sorry if I offended you.
Well, I'm not a very memorable person, but anyway. But
they neither. Running a lot of water under the bridge.
Now, you've been around this sport for a long time. Tell us how you got started and what all you've done in this sport.
I started back when back in 1976, before it was all popular. I would walk to my buddy Frank Warren. I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. Native 10 Dodge. God bless him. Love him to death. I started working with him. I've always been a gearhead. And then when I graduated, he said, let's go. You're going full time. And I never looked back. Everybody went to the beach and celebrated graduation. I went College Station, Texas, and raced. So it's been fun. I've been blessed to meet a lot of people. Not very flamboyant crew chief. I've been on top of the box all I want to do, and done pretty much everything that I've wanted to do in the sport. I worked with some great people, great drivers. Let's see, worked with Buddy Baker and out the late great Alan Kowicki.
Oh, I didn't know you were when I was there. When Kowicki was here.
Yeah, I worked with him. I was working for Leo Jackson, Richard Jackson, Cliff Champion, and Andy Petrie. We had a little posse going on there, and we were building them Oldsmobiles. It was all fun. And Alan kept calling me like, man, I'm going to run. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You need to come over here. I'm like, okay. You know how it works when you're young. You always want to go do something. So I went over there, and I enjoyed working for Alan, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't a family environment like it was at Copenhagen. We had Ben and Phil Parsons in.
Yeah.
And we still friends. I love them all, and love to catch up with them when I see them. But I left there and went to Buddy Baker's, when we got, let's see, we built Oldsmobiles there. I guess I was the damn GM guy for a while. And love to cheat. Everybody knows me, knows I love to cheat. Just like anybody. I would rather climb a tree and cheat than stay on the ground and win, if that makes sense. So, anyway, then let's see what else we do. We work with Plug Wilson over at the 75 car for Raymock. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember all that.
I remember it.
Yes, sir. And then one day a man called me and said, won't you ride up here to Level Cross and talk with me? I consider him my good friend, which a lot of people think he's hard-nosed, but I like him because he did give me a hard time, but I gave him a hard time back, Dale Lemon.
Uh-huh.
And when I went up there, and mind you now, everybody knows it wasn't for a pay raise, I can tell you that. But it was the family atmosphere. It just meant something. You know, and you can't put your finger on it, but you've been there. You guys have been to Petty's and see how it works, and it was like nowhere I'd ever worked before. And I stayed there for a while, and then I kind of got a crazy deal and went over to Hedrick. They offered me so much money I couldn't turn it down. Little did I know that money wasn't everything.
Yeah.
And then I got a call one day from Richard, and I will tell you a true story. This is a true story, and anybody that knows the inside outs of it, remember it. Said I had a little thing. Me and King Glenn was going to hang bodies, make a living, and we did. We did some nice work out of our little speed tow, and phone rang, and it was Martha Jane at Richard's office. She said, "Hey, Richard wants to talk to you." Oh, hey, okay, Martha Jane. So he calls me and says, "Hey, what do you think about that new truck racing deal?" I said, "Well, it looks like fun." He said, "You want to do it?" And I said, "Well, sure, I'm ready." So he says, "Find us a building. We're going to start us a truck team."
Wow.
He said, "I got to go to Europe for 2 weeks." So you know me, I'm up on it now. I'm like, this is it. I can't tell you how long that 2 weeks was. Because I'm like, there were several times I went and looked at buildings and all that, and then I'm like, did I dream that he called me or what? Because I ain't heard a word from nobody. It's just me and him talking. And then, sure enough, about 2.5 weeks later, hey, this is Martha Jane. Richard wants to talk to you. And I said, okay, what's up? He said, you find us a building? I said, I got 10 to look at. So he said, we ended up buying a new one, and then Richard really helped me with my career. That's what jolted me into the crew chief status, team manager, crew chief. And it was great to have the safety net. And I don't know if a lot of people understand, but it's great having a safety net with the petty organization to fall back on. It's like if I had an issue, I could call Dale and talk to him about it, or Robbie Loomis, or whoever. And not only on setups and stuff like that, but on personnel. People is a big part of my team. I've had a bunch of people work for me, been blessed to have a great team. And then, so we went through that season with Rich Bickle, which y'all all know Rich.
Oh, God, yeah. I bet that
He's my man. He drove for me at Daytona this past year, and we had a blast going down memory lane. But I'll tell you one thing, my liver can't keep up with it no more. But he ain't slowed down a bit. He's same old Rich, and we did some things that wasn't. I'm ashamed to say that wasn't actually on the petty organization sheet, so to speak. If y'all know what I'm saying, there was
we got
some dollar bills involved and crazy stuff, and being young and trying to get ahead. I couldn't see what I was doing wrong, but anyway, we moved on. And then I went to Walker Evans, and it was Walker just called me up and said, just take my month checkbook and my hauler and go start us a team. So that's what we did. And I had Butch Miller there. That was great. Man, he is on target. When he gets that helmet on, he's like, Mr. I'm going to drive this thing until the wheels fall off. So, but then, we've worked for Lance Nork, ran Nork Racing, and still talk to all these people. I've been so blessed to meet people. And now I'm over at Empire. Started my own little company, Grumpy's Performance, about 10, 15 years ago. And I run Sean Core, and he's super guy, super driver, but they got so much business going on, he can't drive every week. So we did this development team. And when we started this thing, I said, we're not going to do this unless we're a true development. Little did I know that was a bad statement to say, because being a true development means you develop from zero. And I'm talking about they can't drive a straight drive. They tear clutches out. I've got so many good stories for drivers now that are in Cup that have drove for me that we started. And people go, no way. I went, yep.
Well, go on, tell us one.
I ain't gonna give you one. I ain't gonna tell you that we spent 3 days at Caraway trying to teach Christian Eckes how to drive a straight drive and put 2 clutches in the race car doing that. I'm just trying to get off pit road.
Oh Lord!
But let me tell you, that boy can drive. I've been blessed to have some good drivers. Christian Eckes, he ran through our program. Austin Hills drove for us. Let's see who else. Thad Moffitt was our latest one.
Yeah.
Well, one of our latest. And he's another one, couldn't drive a straight drive, but he's come up such a long way. These guys, I'm so proud. They're like my kids. If you ever come to our shop, you'll see it's the old petty enterprise, really. It's all about family. And the good thing is the cores they feel the same way. There's more to life than racing. It's about people and how you treat them.
Right.
And we've cut our staff down a little bit because, to be honest with you, the sport, I might be wrong. Do y'all think the sport's struggling just a little bit?
It's struggling a little bit, in a lot of areas. There's some areas that I think it's still doing well, but it is struggling in some areas.
I think it's changing. I think it's probably a better way to put
I
it.
think that's the way it is. It's changing, and old dinosaurs like me are really there's really not much room for old people like me. Listen, let me just tell you the way that I mean, it's all cookie cutter stuff, and I'm not talking bad about it because hell, I got 9 ARCA cars ready to go. We're actually next week, the 1st of October, we always start on our Speedway program, and so we're getting all that stuff ready to go. But I'm just saying that I don't know. It's definitely different, and I think y'all see that. I mean, I'm not trying to be bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely changed. I mean, an old timer told me a long time ago when I was a kid, and said, if you don't change with the future, you become part of the past.
I believe you're exactly right.
I think some of the things that have changed, it's kind of tough for you or us to swallow because it's different than what we've been used to. And I like, I mean, when the chase first started happening, I like tradition, stuff. I didn't like it, but it has definitely added a lot of excitement to the racing.
Absolutely. 100%. And it's just that we, as old competitors, you think about it. For 30 years, I've got up and went and tried to be competitive and not have engineers and all that. And just tried to read the car, read the tires, the old school stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And not that I can't read data. I do read data. We have data and we do all that. But I can about tell you what it's doing before the data gets plugged in. But now the competitor is so tight, the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say this. What you got to admire is how many. So we got 30 cup drivers out there, so to speak, or whatever. So how many? I don't even know how many they start anymore. 30, 34, something.
37.
Okay, 37. So there's 37 drivers out there that are, beyond a shadow of doubt, the elite of the world, the elite of our sport. On Saturday night, how many drivers do you think are in the United States driving?
Oh
man,
way.
See what I'm saying? That is a competition in itself to get to that next level.
Well,
but it's definitely a money-driven sport, and I wish it wasn't. We're working, and I can't say how we're approaching it, but we're close to having an approach to marketing that we want the sponsors to allow the team to pick the driver, so to speak, the talent. Because you guys go, y'all, I'm sure you've been and you go, God, that kid can wheel. His heart and soul's in it. They just don't have the funding.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I think has done that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the next wave. I think that if we get enough people on board with that, that'll be the next wave to help the sport, if that makes sense. I don't know. You're still getting sponsor notoriety, still getting TV time, but you're putting somebody and they'll fight for it.
Yeah.
I know drivers back in the day that would drive for zero. I mean, zero.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure you do too.
And there was a lot of them that kind of lived on that premise of driving for zero.
Absolutely, sleeping on couches.
Yeah, and sleep in somebody else's house and everything.
Yeah,
I know you've been around for a while. And I know in ARCA you're not going to be going through this Gen 7, Gen whatever it is, race cars. What are you thinking about how all that's working out? And what's that? Are they going are any of those cars that's in Cup now, are they going to be filtered back into other places
I
that
don't
you
know
know
that
of?
any class can use them.
I don't. I'm confused about that part. I am very confused. I've seen all the pictures and seen all this. Talked to a lot of my friends that still fabricate, because fabricating and building cars is my background. That's
Yeah.
where I started, and it's sad that you go back in the day. And when you came to Petty's, did you see an English wheel in there?
No.
Absolutely. We made our
Yeah,
own
I saw them
stuff,
there, but not now. No.
but not now. You go
Yeah.
by it and it's got to meet that laser thing, which is okay, but it would be interesting to see what would happen if someone would open a class, take them cars and let you, just put templates on them and kind of let some people be creative again, the workers, because that's what builds a fan base. Kind of, it ain't all just a driver. It's like a team that can build something that's fast.
Right.
And I don't know I don't know if I said that right or not. I'm terrible at interviews. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling on.
You're great. You're great. But I understand what you're saying, because it's
The talent pool in NASCAR is phenomenal. I thought I was good. Mm-mm. That talent pool is unbelievable what these guys can do. The ones that apply themselves.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go just be a ductwork guy, go be a ductwork guy. Buy you a rector set, toolkit, and go bolt it in. That's pretty much what it is. But now I got 9 ARCA cars and 3 late models, and we run a few. And I talked to Mr. Core and Sean Core, and we're just gonna sit back a little bit and see where the sport's going. Because if you try to keep up, you're going to spend all your money every week trying to change with it. We're still building cars and got some good stuff. We're doing a lot of drag race cars now. Kind of got hooked into that. Went and did the Discovery Channel Street Outlaw thing, and we got some drag cars to build, and it's just keeping us afloat right now. But I know y'all gonna think this is terrible, but I don't want to go to track just to go to track.
Yeah.
I'm not into that. I can't.
Well,
Too many people.
You don't want to be part of the show. You want to be the show.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
that's what I've heard a lot of people say. I don't want to go to the track if I'm just going to be riding, and
That's it.
I'm not going. That's not me, and I think that's what you're trying to say is you don't want to be that kind of a racer. So I understand.
And the problem that you get being the development thing that we've done so long, and we've been very successful with it. Like I say, you can look at our record. We've had some very good guys come through our thing. But when we started the development program, there wasn't but like 3 of us doing true development. Now, if you got 2 race cars, you're a development team. And I'm like, okay, so you're just taking money. But the thing about the sport is the cost. I've got just prime example. I have a very nice front running late model sitting there. I have a driver that would love to drive it that can put it up front. I don't have the money to go buy the tires because he don't have the money. I don't have the money. And you go down there and you take a chance on somebody that, you never know if you're going to cut a tire down and back that thing up in the fence. And that's an easy $5,000 right there, not to mention your tires.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. It kills the competitor side. It hurts. It literally hurts to walk by that car and know that I could take it to Florence next week and run up front with the right driver.
Right. I mean, in the ARCA series now, how much has the Ilmore engine and everything done for you guys as far as cost attainment? I mean, has it been cost worthy to go to the Ilmore instead of what all you got going on with other engines?
I think the overall picture it has overall.
Mhm.
We have 6 of them. We just seen that that was the way of the future, and Mr. Core said buy them while you can get them because we just bought them.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, now I'm gonna try to explain this, and if I say something wrong, just jump out here and tell me.
Okay.
So we're a development team, and we had a program with Roush. We had the biggest, baddest motors they make. Now we paid for them, we rented them, but that was a selling tool for my team. If you wanted to run up front with the big motor and all that, we had the best of the best. So we spend anywhere from $35,000 a race to rent a Roush FR9. I think that's what it is, or was. And so now you take that avenue away from us, and over a period of time, somebody that has the Ilmore, we don't have, all we have is our setup, and if a driver messes up, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to say that.
Right.
It hurt our program. Now, I'm not saying, I think it's great, and I think the guys at ARCA are doing a great job, and that is really an understated series. If you look at the competition now, you got Gibbs in there right now, and they're throwing the money at it. They're just throwing some money, and he's talented, very talented, very talented. But overall, ARCA is not the same old ARCA it used to be. You walk down through that garage, there's some very, very nice equipment in there.
So ARCA, when NASCAR took ARCA in, things began to change a little bit.
Yep. It is good and it's bad. It's, like I say, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I wish we could get back to having us a full-time driver with one sponsor. I don't think, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but there's very few teams even in across the board that have one solid sponsor for the year.
I don't think there is one.
I mean, the budgets has gotten so high, I don't know that one sponsor can do it.
I don't think so either. I think it's creative marketing is how you have to approach it, and that's why we're trying to start a platform for our team to present, and we're close to where all the numbers match up. Where the sponsor, it's a one-stop, and we take care of the sponsor, and they worry about their marketing numbers, which everybody does. Don't get me wrong, but so many sponsors like to say, well, I got this driver and this driver and this driver. But there's more to it than just a driver. The driver is 80%. Well, I take that back. Driver's probably more than that. I'm probably going to get some hate mail from the driver buddies. But I'll tell you, a talented driver, that's what's helped my career. I've had great drivers under me.
You had some of the best.
I have had some of the best drivers that make me look good, make my job easy. Any crew chief will tell you that a good driver will make you look good, even in the late model series.
So you're gonna be going to Talladega. Any other races? I mean, you're gonna do the rest of the ARCA series. Are you gonna be doing anything else? Or
I think we're going to do. We're trying to get a deal to do 10 races next year. Okay. That's okay with me. If I'll tell you guys, I'd rather go 10 races and be competitive than I would 20 and not have the funding.
Right.
It just costs so much to go. The tires are $22.50 a set now in the ARCA series, and it's a little pricey. And people don't believe how much it costs, but it does. I mean, it's the same. I mean, we put our pants on just like the Cup guys go. I mean, it might not be the same level, but it's the same deal. In the end, it's the same level to us.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, Mike, we appreciate your time, man. We appreciate you spending some time with us. I know you're a busy man. Got your own business and got all your racing to do. So I really appreciate you taking time and being with us. And I hopefully we can call you back sometime and talk to you again.
Yes, sir. Hope it didn't offend nobody. Hope everybody has a good night.
You
No,
too.
you too.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much,
man.
man.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I told Bobby Hall. He just sent me a message.
What did he say?
What time is he supposed to come home?
Oh, tell him now.
Guess what? But that was interesting. There he is right there. There he is. All right. Our next guest is going to be presented by Bondrich Brothers Distillery out of Chase City, Virginia. And let's have Bobby Hall come on.
How you doing?
Hey, Bobby, how's it going, man?
Doing all right.
Oh, man, look at all them diecast behind you, man.
See, he don't even know who you are, Bobby.
I know who he is.
He's the
I'm the diecast guy.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
I
you
need
need a
to come see.
diecast.
I need to come see you.
He doesn't give the stuff away for free, Jack.
I didn't say I wanted it for free. I said I want to go see him.
Well, if you ever need anything, just let me know.
Hey, look, man, how in the world do you put up with this in racing on that Pro 6 Series? I mean,
Well, usually we don't really race that often. He's usually behind me, so
I'm glad. I'm glad you
Oh,
said it. I'm glad you said it.
All right, this year, the last year he ran it. Well, he ran me over one time. We spun out. We were running second and third, and I think we ended up like fourth and fifth or something.
well, that was when I had I had that white backup car, and that was I didn't have a rear view mirror or the rear view mirror fell off the car on the first lap of the race.
I love you, Bobby. You don't need the mirror for somebody in front of you.
And it was a very that was a very weird and crazy day. Driving that backup car for the very first time in my life, really didn't know what I was doing. I bought the car from Jordan Wood on a Wednesday and I raced it that Saturday or something like that a couple years ago, and it was crazy. That was, like I said, we did put it on scales that day. I mean that night, the night before, and just pretty much ran it, and there was so many little bugs and stuff that we had no idea we had to work through and all that stuff. But yeah, the mirror fell off the car, started the race, and then the side mirror fell down and I couldn't reach it. So I had no mirrors, and then the radio harness messed up. So I had no radio either. So I was really racing blind that day. That was a very fun night.
I was like, you use their mirrors? I don't even use the mirrors.
Well, if there's nothing behind you, you don't need mirrors.
Well, yeah, it was just a crazy night. That car did not handle very well at all either. So we only had 2 days to work on it. But yeah, that was a crazy night. And coming back this year, I got my car back after getting destroyed 2 years ago. But it's been a struggle trying to keep up with that 44 car. But it's been a pretty chill year in our class. We haven't really raced that much. Honestly, we just kind of spread out a little bit and go green all the way. But
yeah.
Well,
you should know how that is. I mean, you run with us. You know, we're not really tearing up too much stuff except last race. I kind of hit the 46 car going into turn 1 or turn 3. I felt bad about that. I felt terrible about that. But other than that, we haven't really torn up much stuff. I mean, it's been pretty chill.
Yeah. So how long have you been racing this class? I mean, you're probably, well, you have the most experience in this class of everybody that's in now.
Yeah, I started in the class in 2008 as a rookie. That was really my first race car. I did a U car for like 4 races at Southside Speedway. And I was a fish out of water in a U car. I just had the biggest rust bucket there was. And I told my dad, I said, this is a piece of junk. I can't race this thing. You know, it just didn't have no horsepower or anything. So he goes out and for my graduation present for my senior year, he went out and bought me a Pro 6 car. And I was petrified. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. But, yeah, I've been in it ever since. Won the championship a few years back. I finished second a lot, which is not fun. But, yeah, I think I am the most senior driver now since the Sipes have pretty much kind of fizzled out a little bit. They're doing other things now. I know Casey's starting a family and everything. So, yeah, I guess that's why I feel like I try and speak my mind more than what others do because I was around when the class was kind of just starting. Well, not really, maybe just starting, but when the old original, I was part of the first wave of the new people to come in. And I was around the originals that had made the series what it was, and I'm all for trying to keep the series the way it was, but that's a whole nother story. So we all know how that works.
So did you race anything before the U-Car, or U-Car was your first?
Nope. I raced my U-Car as a sophomore, junior, and I didn't know we didn't know what we were doing. We were just making laps, and I finished 12th out of 25 cars. Back then, Southside Speedway had a ton of U-Cars. There wouldn't be any night a 20-car field was a small car field for them back then in like 07. About 07, 06. And out of 25 cars, I finished 12th. That was my best finish. And then, it's just back then the rules, there were so many different type of cars you could run back then. So I had a little Ford Escort going against, Cavaliers and Dodge Daytonas back then, and they had bigger motors than what a Ford Escort had. So they were automatically going to be faster than me. So we learned that the hard way when we got involved. And that's when my dad said, well, let's go to Pro 6. And we didn't know what we were doing there either. We were a fish out of water when we first started that. But we soon figured it. Took us a couple years to figure it out, but it's been great, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I got a few trophies out of it. Got a championship, so a lot of memories. That's the thing about racing. You might not get along with everyone, and you might, butt heads with people, but you always have those memories of all those wins or crazy finishes or good races that you had with other competitors. So, yes, it's expensive, but you get the memories out of your family. So that's the best thing.
Hey, Bobby, I got a question for you now. When last year, when you got a new car came out there last year, that 29 car came out there last year. Did y'all just look like all you guys that running up front and everything? Y'all just look around and go, "Oh God, here he comes."
The 29. What car? What car are we talking about? The 29 car? You mean the 28?
No, the 29.
He's talking about me.
I'm talking about Scott.
Oh, that just shows you how far out I'm not even. I thought you were being serious. That 29 car. I mean, I know that car. That was Cody's old car before. Now you got you had Florian's old car now. But I mean, I didn't really. Just another car. I mean, the only car. I know you got a good car. It's a fast car. It's won a lot of races. I've put a lot of donuts on the side of that car in the past few years, racing with the Florians and stuff. But I like. Honestly, the first time I saw it was when Hayden Townsend. I was getting my car wrapped, and him and Buck were telling me that your car got wrapped, and I'm like, wait a minute, whose car? And he said, yeah, it was a Pro 6 that came in here. And I was like, oh, I thought I was your only Pro 6 car. And he showed me a picture of it. And I was like, oh, that's a nice looking car with the American flag look and everything.
But you just haven't seen much of it in front of you.
He actually, you picked up last race a little bit. I saw on the timesheet.
Yeah, out qualified. What do you mean?
I can't qualify worth a darn. So I'm terrible at qualifying.
You're not alone.
I'm terrible. I won one pole this past year. I don't even know how I did that. And but that was a little bit of luck, I think. But ever since then, I haven't had the same amount of speed for qualifying since then. But if I could qualify, top 2 or 3, that's fine by me. The car always races better. So
Bobby, how did you get into the diecast business?
Well,
I'm just looking at all them diecast behind you.
He needed some tires for the Pro 6 car.
Yeah, that helps. So.
Uh-oh.
That's the best part.
You buy the little Hot Wheels cars, and that's how you get involved. And it just kind of as you get older, you start wanting to you have a favorite driver or whatever. When you start collecting your favorite driver, and then when you start, it all kind of started when the economy fell, like in 2008, 2009, and I was working part-time at UPS, and I was like, well, I want some extra money. So I started going on Craigslist and going on like finding people that were selling their collections. And then I was found out, well, maybe I can resell this stuff and make money off it. Started putting it on eBay and making, some spending cash. And then that's when Facebook started. They came up with the groups.
Yeah.
Around that time, and I was like, well, maybe if I start a group about buying and selling diecast, maybe I can make some more money at this. So I made the NASCAR Diecast Trade Center, which is a group on Facebook, and it's got like 20,000 members now. And
of which I didn't know you were part of, but I got you.
So then I started selling it on there, and since I'm the owner of that group, I can do pretty much whatever I want. I can post whatever I want, advertise whatever I want. And I was selling stuff pretty fast, and I kept on buying stuff, selling stuff. And then that's when a guy named Brent Powell came to me and messaged me. He's the owner of Plan B Sales. He actually sponsors Kyle Larson, Nice Motorsports now, but at the time he didn't. He was just getting his foot in the door about owning his own company or whatever. And he said, hey, can I advertise in your group that you own? I said, sure, yeah, but it's not going to be free, obviously. So he, that's when we made the deal of him sponsoring my car, and that was the year I won the championship. He put Plan B Sales all over my car, and we just made a working agreement where I give him business or whatever by sponsoring the car, and I can sell my stuff or whatever. And then finally, it kind of, as I got older, started getting more into it. And then I kind of did my own thing when he said he didn't want to sponsor me no more because he had other obligations he wanted to do because the track had closed down, maybe 4 years ago now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when the track closed down, I didn't have nowhere to race. So he decided he was going to go elsewhere. So that's when he started stepping up to sponsor more trucks. And I think he stepped up with Larson's dirt program more. Well, when the track came back a year later, I asked him, I said, hey, do you want to sponsor me again? He said, no, I got other commitments. I'm like, all right, I understand. Sure. So that's when I said, well, I'm going to do my own thing. So then I made Haulers Run Diecast. And I was just kind of like getting my feet wet with it, here and there, selling here and there. But then this past year, probably a year and a half, during the pandemic or whatever, I said, I'm going to go full blown with it, as a side deal, as a full blown business.
Right.
So I wrapped the whole car with Haulers Run Diecast, and I told my team, I said, well, how should I design this paint job, like to give it more exposure? Because I was like, well, my colors are blue or black and white, and I've always been blue, black, and white and silver. I was like, well, I feel like to get more exposure, you have to, since throwbacks are really cool right now, everyone's doing throwbacks. I said, well, let's do the Days of Thunder throwback. Everyone's going to know that paint job.
Right. That's
when we decided to do the Mellow Yellow car and make my logo look just like the Mellow Yellow logo of that time. And it's been a hit. I get messages all the time, pretty much almost daily, of people wanting to pre-order stuff. Matter of fact, my phone has been blowing up today. Today. Because of all the Bristol races that happened this weekend, of all the race wins, everybody wants Kyle Larson race wins and Allmendinger's race win, that crazy finish on Friday. So it's been cool. I get my stuff right from Lionel. I'm an authorized dealer. It's not like it's a different product you're buying from me compared to like NASCAR.com. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. I'm actually cheaper by a few dollars than them, and you're supporting a small business. So it's really cool. It's a hobby. It's / a business,
So where's your place at?
Outside, out of my garage. I do everything out of my garage. Right beside
Jack.
Well, I know it's online, but I'm talking.
Now, I'm gonna say, man, I do love your car, man. When you showed up the first race, I was like, man, I love the paint scheme and your suit and stuff. I think it's really cool. But on the diecast stuff, diecast was crazy at one time, and then
It was.
got off. So I'm kind of surprised at how well it's doing, and I was kind of curious to that, and I was going to ask you that, because I mean, several years ago, I'd say early '90s, and there for a while, I mean, diecast was huge.
It was.
And,
Yep.
and it appears that it's died down, but maybe it's making a resurgent now.
It was really big in the early 2000s when Earnhardt Sr. had passed and Dale Jr. was the hottest thing there ever was.
Mm-hmm.
And then the economy fell, and that's when everything plummeted. And that's when I got into it, because I was getting cars for practically nearly nothing because people were in tough times and needed money. But now that the economy is, corrected itself and booming, diecast sales are at the highest they've ever been. Honestly, they if you go on eBay right now, I mean, there are cars selling for. I know of a few cars that are selling for over $1,000 just because they're that hard to find and they're that rare. It just depends on what kind of car it is. I mean, there are still cars that are $10 and $20 a piece still, but it just depends on what it is and who it is, what scheme it is, the rarity of it. But yeah, like the biggest thing what Lionel figured out was everyone loves race versions. That is probably my biggest seller, are the race versions that come out for every race that they race or whatever. They'll make the car exactly, or the closest they can, how it looked while it was when it came to victory lane. So they'll put the confetti on it, have the donuts on the side of it,
Right.
And then I'll try and get autographs. When before the pandemic, I'd try to hunt the drivers down and get autographs, get hot passes or whatever through my connections with the diecast stuff. I would get hot passes every once in a while and try and be a autograph hunter. Because I'm a collector too. So as you can see from up here, so it's like I said, it's a business / hobby. It's fun. It's something to do, something to talk about. I get connections from. I actually have customers. I have a customer from Singapore all the way to Chile, Brazil, Canada. Diecast is a worldwide thing, believe it or not. It surprised me when I'm getting customers from across the pond, basically wanting to buy my stuff. It's really cool. And they're hardcore NASCAR fans too, believe it or not. They it's just harder for them to get it,
Right.
because of the shipping costs and all that stuff. So when they are able to get it, it's like a big thing for them across the pond or whatever. But
Pretty cool.
Well, Bobby, who are your sponsors in there? Give all your sponsors a shout out, and anybody help you out or whatever you want to, whoever you want.
Well, I have. There's always room for more sponsors. Don't let me. I'm right now. My whole car is wrapped with my company because I wanted to try and get my company as much exposure as possible. But I have Hawkeye's Racing Graphics. They wrap the car. I have Excel Racing Wear. They're the ones that made the suits for me. Twerp Chassis. They're the one that work on the car when I wreck it, which I haven't wrecked it none this year. So that's been really good this year. ChesterfieldHomes.net. That's my wife's now. My new wife. We just got married a couple weeks ago. That's her website. She's a realtor down in Chesterfield and Richmond. What else? It's hard to. Oh yeah. Also, my Facebook groups, NASCAR Diecast Trade Center and the NASCAR Diecast Exchange. That's where you can buy, sell, and trade on Facebook and meet different people, whatever, that are in the same trade as you or same hobby as you want to, whatever you want to buy or sell, whatever. That's about it. Don't have much. I usually do my own thing. Like my dad always said, the less sponsors you have, the less commitment you got to do. But that was the old school mentality.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It is true.
All right, Bobby. Well, we appreciate your time and everything that you've been with us tonight, and good luck to you the rest of the year. I know you're going to need it with Scott still in racing.
Not too much luck, though. Not too much.
Well, I'm trying to catch that 44 car. He's been my biggest pain right now. But Travis Wall, he's a good guy, and well, maybe we can. I think we got 2 races left, Scott.
Yeah.
Maybe
I keep hoping for a caution at the end. Somebody's gonna get aggressive.
Well, that last two, I think it was last race, maybe 2 races ago. We had a couple that 40 lap race. We had a couple cautions,
Yeah.
and I tried, but it didn't really work out. But
I watched. We're further away from it. I couldn't quite keep up with y'all.
that was fun.
Oh no, that was the time. Was that the time I had to come in the pits and I got lapped a few times and I got 3 laps back. I kept going by y'all. I tried to take the cone with you and they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I watched that race on NBC Gold Sports Pass after the race was over. Then like a couple days later, and I like to watch some of the replay of the race, see what happened exactly. But that was kind of funny. You got the free pass like 3 times, and that was funny. And I was trying to jack up the 71 a little bit, trying to push him because he wouldn't go. And I'm like, well, I'm not listening.
I was rooting for you right there.
Yeah, I think everybody was at that point, From what I
took a wide turn into one. I was like, oh, this is gonna get ugly. Maybe all 3 of them will just go, and I'll just come out on turn 2 with the lead.
No. My plan was to push him. My plan was to push him and then hope he gets loose, and I was going to make it 3 wide. That was my plan because I've done that a few times before. But that when you're going against Butterbean, a late model champion in our class, he's not going to mess up, but so much, So and you gotta force him, a little bit, but he ain't mess up. So, but it was fun. It was fun racing against him, but whatever. Well, maybe we'll get him in I think 2 weeks. I think something like that.
Yeah,
I'm about a tenth off of Travis, so I got to find a little speed. Just a little bit, maybe. If not, we need to get a late race restart, and then I'll just push him down in turn 1 and try and get him loose one time. But
all right, Bobby, we appreciate you talking to us tonight, and
yes, sir.
Hopefully, we can talk to you again real soon.
Well, I appreciate you asking me. I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll come on. I don't got nothing going on, but I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you taking your time doing that for us. So.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, man. Have a good night.
See you, buddy.
Well, I take it we didn't get many Tyrrell tonight, so
no.
I guess when you win a race, you just kind of forget about your folks that you.
I don't know. It's funny. We were just talking about a 40-lap race, and I keep going back to different things with Dave. And in that race, I mean, we were both so wound up. We got so many laps down, and taking that cone, Dave's like, "Come on out of there. We're gonna take the cone."
And I was in here listening to the official say, "Scott Allen cannot take the cone."
He's like, "Sure you can." Well, until they tell us no, that's what we're gonna do, and that's what we did. And then I think I don't know if it was that race or a few races before that I'd spun a few times, and Dave came over the radio and he was like, "You got 5 laps and 3 cars to get back where you were before you spun. So you need to get up on the wheel." And we pulled it off, and we did it. But yeah, those are some of the funny things with Dave on the radio.
Rick Paust, I see where you're speaking of laps down. Why didn't I tell the story about how you were lapped twice in 1 lap? Well, Rick, I'm going to tell you just like this, and I'm going to be very nice and very polite about it.
Yeah.
You were the co-driver of the week this week, and I swore I wasn't going to mention the fact you had a big motor in your truck.
Hey, he passed tech and everything.
Well, a lot of people, he's been passing tech all the time. But and far as that story you're talking about, never happened. That's a lie. Robbie Parker, whatever. That's a lie. Never happened. So, but we do know about the big motor because you told us about it. But anyway.
But we've had some good laughs with Dave on the radio at the end of these races. But actually, it's funny. My first year, I was running behind Dash McLaughlin and I think the 46, and it's only a few races in, and we were much faster than them, but I just had a hard time getting off the corner, and I'm new, and I don't want to tear anybody's stuff up. Dave said, it's 2 laps to go, and you got 2 cars in front of you. It's time to put your big boy pants on. So I think the next week, Donnie come over and he says, "Oh, there's Earnhardt over there." I was like, "What?" He's moving people out of the way. I was like, "Hey, Dave told me I needed to get. I had a couple laps to go, and I need to put my big boy pants on, so I had to go."
Well, all right. Well, that's our show for tonight. And I know, Scott, you're going to go by and see the Millards on your way home. But anybody, please be praying for them and thinking about them. Anything, prayers of what they need really bad right now to get through this. It's going to be hard for them, but let's think about them. That's more important than what we're doing as far as racing and anything else. That's more important. And
I want to say, I know we all kind of thinking about Dave and stuff, but I would say one of the things I most admire about really the whole family is they're just a big family. I mean, you see a lot of guys out here, and I'm one included, that, we're a racing family, but outside of that, Dave and Danny and you see all of them outside the racetrack. I mean, even here, the whole family comes. His mom comes, his wife comes, the daughter comes, the son-in-law. I mean, well, Jordan's racing some now, but or with them in the thing. But the most I would say I admire about Dave and the whole family is how family oriented they are.
yeah,
I mean,
they are.
That's their biggest asset. I would say that they are just so family oriented.
Before we go off, Spanky, we're thinking about you, man. We got you in our prayers too. He says he was diagnosed today with ALS. So, but we're thinking about you. Good, and you need anything, Spanky, you know where we are. Please call us. We'll be willing to help you out any way we can. That goes for the Millard family, and Garrett Zacharias' dad, RJ. He went home today, but I understand he has to go back next week and have heart surgery for an aneurysm.
Oh wow! Wow.
So I know how that is. I've been there and done that. So
Yes.
So I know it's going to be fun. Not fun. It's going to be hard, but he'll be fine. Everything will work out good. And good luck to Garrett, because he drove like a champ the other night. I got to give it to him.
Yeah.
At one time on one of the restarts, it was him, and they made a big announcement over the loudspeaker: the youngest driver in super stocks and the oldest driver, because I think the guy on the outside was like 60 something.
Oh wow.
And he just drove away from him. So that was pretty good. But anyway, please think of the Millard family. Think about Spanky, Jason Edson. Appreciate that. And everybody needs you.
Rick's got a message there.
Rick what? Rick Powell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay no attention to Rick Powell. Rick Powell's crazy. So anyway, yeah. Thank you, Stephanie. We did. We gave Rick Powell and Cody Bryant got our drivers of the week voted by the fans, and then we gave Davey Millard driver of the week for him, because he deserves it. Been around here for a long time.
He's our driver.
Yeah, he's gonna, and means a lot to Scott and myself. We talked to him. Well, I talk to him a lot when I go over in the pit garage area, but big deal. And let's all stay behind the Millard family, because they need it. And then I know they're probably listening, and if they are, please call me, call Scott, call us anytime you need us, night or day. We'll be there for you.
Yeah,
I promise you that.
If you want us to come over and cut the grass at 3:00 in the morning, we'll come over and cut the grass at 3:00 in the morning.
Now, Danny, you know that's a lie. That's a lie, because he don't even cut his own grass. His wife cuts it for him.
Well, I get her to come over there and cut it.
Okay, I want to hear you. I want to hear that when that happens. But anyway, all right. Thank you very much. Next week, Atlee Weiss is finally going to come over here next week. Zach Lightfoot's going to be here. Dwayne Skinnell, if we can keep his mouth shut for a little while after that incident a couple weeks ago. And Tom Lightfoot's going to be here. They're all coming over here. We're going to talk about them winning.
Am I still gonna have a job after Atlee leaves? Or?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We might put him right here and let him sit there for a while.
I mean, to tell you.
But anyway, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll be talking to you again real soon.
Thanks, guys.